fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's going in the outside of both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson! Anderson's up to
Oh my God!
Oh.
Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's going to get rolled!
It's very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, there we go! Oh no!
That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my God!
God, what?
Are you spending a lot of time looking for setups and struggling for faster lap times? Are you tired of searching online for answers? Would you like to get setups, analysis and tutorials from some of the best sim racers in the world like Ralph Alla, Mitchell de Jong, Martin Krunker, Josh Rogers and many more? If so, virtualracingschool.com is the answer you've been looking for. VRS data packs provide hot laps from our professional coaches for you to analyse and replicate. They provide tutorials that walk you through the fastest laps and what the pros did to achieve the best times. And they provide the setups you need to ensure your car is competitive in both oval and road racing. If you're ready to get faster and reach more podiums sooner than later, just go to virtualracingschool.com and sign up for a free account today.
There's something that is just so perfect about marrying virtual and reality. There is something about fantasy that just cannot be itched. Something that is just so wonderful, so perfect, so brilliant when it comes to racing action. And here, this is one of the first times you get to see iRacing go fully into esports. This, of course, is your Dallara Formula IR. This is what wonderful sim racing is all about. This is a wonderful circuit. It is Watkins Glen, classic boot layout. This is perfection. Welcome to SimSpeed TV and coverage here of what is a sensational Dallara Formula IR season here at Watkins Glen International. My name's Jake Sperry. I've got also Scott Fonty joining alongside me later on in the day. But this is a wonderful, wonderful car. If you want to understand what a Formula One vehicle can be, just imagine you have the downforce of the 2020 style Formula One vehicles, coupled up the screaming V10, V12 engines that come along, of course, with those old 2000s or the early 2000s Formula One machines. This is a magical, sensational thing to keep in mind as we get ourselves all looking up situated. Qualifying just about to get itself underway. But before we do, let's take a little look around Watkins Glen International. What a wonderful circuit it is. Let's go on board with the two-time iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series champion, Martin Krunker, brought to you by the Virtual Racing School. For data packs, head to the virtualracingschool.com. Sixth gear, up the hill, out to the 90, up through the S's section, hitting nearly 300, over 300 kilometers an hour. Full bore, full power. Now, as you make that run, no chicane on the right-hand side. This is where it gets scary. 324 on the power into the right, and you've got so much grip. You're still carrying 250 Ks through the carousel into the chute. Alexei Usiakala's corner, where he had all sorts of troubles in the World Championship, down at 200 Ks. And now you hit the toe of the boot here, up the hill on the apex, always trying to put the power down, still in fourth gear, mind you, and fighting. You can see how much Krunker fights on the exit of the corner. Just a sensational amount of control needed in vehicles with so much torque as these. 150 Ks down at the heel of the boot before you get the off-camber left, which are all the way down at 137 Ks. Before putting the power back on, you can see some opposite lock still from Krunker trying to pilot through the corner. Final two corners, sixth gear at 270. Before flicking one more down here at the final corner, 240 Ks to blitz away through one flying lap of this circuit. It is just simply unfathomable how quick you can go around here. This is just some sensational action. Where are we today and where is Watkins Glen? Well, we are in upstate New York. You can see Cincinnati, Cleveland, Detroit, Toronto, New York, Philadelphia, Washington, Boston, and Montreal. And Watkins Glen is the perfect center in the middle of that. Formula One World Championship circuit back in the 1960s, the resting place of the late Francois Sever, who would have been probably a world champion in his own right. And this is the circuit here, 1971, the current configuration that we have. And this is 5.47 kilometers or 3.4 miles of just pure pace here today. There is not much you can say about this circuit other than the fact that this is, simply put, one of the greatest world-class abilities to go out there and race, especially around a track which still has the ability to throw up the high speed as we have at the moment. Here's a little look, though, at things going on right now. And look how sleek those Dallara iR-01s look. It's like something out of space age, the way that they are able to just punch away through with these sorts of drivers here today. It's worth noting that those times are starting to come in on the board then with qualifying. Andy T, currently the fastest of all the drivers so far, on a 1:15.965 available at this moment in time. I do believe we're going to get this opportunity to bring Scott Fountain into the conversation in the next couple of moments, just waiting on confirmation for that. But Fonte, this is truly something special. It's not often that Dallara commissions a virtual vehicle, and when they do, oh my word, does it look pretty.
Yes, hello everybody. Welcome to a Friday night for me. A little bit rushed to get home to make this, but yeah, I'm certainly pretty excited, and what a great circuit that we're at. I certainly love Watkins Glen, and yeah, it certainly throws up a lot of great racing, and drafting is a big part of this track, and I'm sure we're going to be in for a great night tonight, Sperry.
We certainly are. Ben Fuller goes top, 1:15.061 in the TQ Engineering number 2 out there on circuit. There is Matteo Ugolotti searching for lap time then here in this one, and hoping that there is going to be enough of a result possible here at the moment to climb up the order. This is the first round of 12 consecutive weeks of championship. 8 best scores count as you try and make sure that the result lands in your favor. And one of the keys that you find from that level of speed and consistency needed is that you need to be absolutely with it from the opening couple of rounds all the way to the end, because it can very easily turn sour if it doesn't work out. That's a 15.947 for Ugolotti, goes 4th fastest.
Yep, a lot of pace there for Ugolotti. Certainly Ben Fuller, one of the ones that we were accustomed to on a Saturday night with the iGPS series. I know that these guys are going to be fighting it out, and yeah, I haven't been able to drive this car as of yet. Have you managed to jump in there yourself, Sperry?
This is a crazy car in terms of how much grip and actually torque that the rear tyres produce. You know that you are driving something really special around this circuit. Fabrizio Maisani jumping up into 18th position in the number 21 car. This is the last driver yet to set a lap time. 1:16.9 for Jacob Obraslak, who moves up then a few positions up into the 16th place at the moment. You've still got Obraslak with one more lap. Ugolotti also has one more lap, as does Cyan. Look at that little kick of oversteer going through that section, and it's so easy for things to get worked up into the wrong position around this circuit, especially when you're fighting up against these vehicles. And what's more important than that as well is that these drivers also all have a different set of tyres, I do believe, that they have abilities to look at, as Ugolotti, not happy with his lap, decides to throw it in the tyres. John Pat Kelly out there hoping to improve on what is P22 of 22.
Yeah, great to see all of these guys here who we see on a Saturday night, and these cars are really different looking, aren't they? They got such big, wide rear tyres on them, and pretty much the same width in the front. They look like a big boat going around the track, so it'll be interesting to see how they go around Watkins Glen, especially up through that first section up over the hill there, and how much drafting is going to play into the end result.
And that's one position gain there for John Pat Kelly. Obraslak over the line then, and is the last driver to finish then. 1:16.8 does not improve. But let's get up on your grid then, here, how everyone will stack up. We'll just give it a couple of seconds to tick over. It will be Ben Fuller on pole position. Club Indiana, 1:15.061. Has Tamas Simon alongside then in second position, just 22 thousandths the difference there. Andra, someone who is not a stranger to iRacing, has been here, there, and everywhere, starts third with Andy T alongside him in fourth. Row 3 sees Matteo Ugolotti alongside Marco Sanfilippo, the Palermo man, with Omar Bahar there in 7th, and Danilo Sanfilippo, Marco's brother, is there in 8th position. Jan Brezina starts this one in 9th place with Philip Schiff there rounding out the top 10 from the club Carolina. Cedric Beal starts 11th, the Frenchman, alongside James Chesters, with Patrick Letuve there in 13th, and Andreas Henkel in 14th. Adam Kern and Jacob Oberslack make up row 8 with Tamas Shane and Jacob Reed in row number 9. Then you have Fabrizio Maisani and Dylan Freckleton making the top 20, and 2 more drivers, John Pat Kelly and Victor Balea, making up the 22 drivers getting themselves ready and situated for this race. It is 34 laps that will be running here today, 11 turns of that circuit, so your 11 times 34 times tables will definitely come in handy. James Chesters with a throughput then right before the start will miss the starting grid then, I am pretty sure, so that is a huge fault. So we get a little look at these cinematic shots of this Watkins Glen circuit. Has been in the iRacing annals for very much a long time. So Fuller on pole, Simon in second, and then you got Andra there in third place. A lot of drivers with a lot of capability, and they're handling some very trimmed out Dallara iR-01s. They can see the wind just there, tame, 4 kilometers an hour, track temperature 38 degrees. So we're looking into the annals of understeer here, but 2 minutes is up on the board, and we get ourselves underway then as we get on going, and all straight into the wall, struggles off the start. Danilo Sanfilippo in the wall, and so is Marco as well. There's 3-4 drivers who have been caught out. It looked like Andra did not get a start at all off the line, just the wheels spinning up, and it's so easy to get wrong.
Yeah, we're going to have to go back and have a look at that for sure and see what happened there. But yeah, these cars clearly not that easy to get off the line, and will loop around very quickly. So that's already spread out the field, yeah, very fast. And Ben Fuller made a break for it already, a second separating himself and Andy T. So yeah, we know how fast Fuller is. Is he going to be pulling away from the rest of the field at this point on early on in the race?
Matteo Ugolotti actually missed the start as well. So a lot of drivers getting caught out, 6 or 7 in that opening incident. We've now got ourselves a whole different scenario out there on track. Ugolotti finally able to get away, but there is Tamas Simon in third position right now. Did not get a great start. Fell behind Andy T off of the get-go, and now T in a really good position to move on forward and try and get those results that are needed early on in the season. It is, though, a big key for Ben Fuller to get out in the way early, as Tamas Shane immediately in a battle then down for 12th position, and a spinner in front. That's Adam Cohn, who has gone around there. Big puff of smoke from the OzNZ driver.
Yep. Plenty of carnage after lap 1, and we've got 33 laps to go. So these cars, having a look at the tyre choice that these guys have, they're all on hard tyres. Not sure if they were able to select a different tyre for the start. But yeah, a couple of nice battles that we are seeing throughout the pack here. Andy T has just been passed actually by the number 4 car there. Cedric Beal trying to hunt down that pack of cars as well.
We're going to just have a little look then on the right hand side of the screen. This is what happened off the start. We've got it in slow motion because this is Andra, third position. Keep an eye on this because it's the second phase of acceleration where the back steps out there. You can see just flicks left. He's immediately into the pit wall retaining, and then all of a sudden there's the secondary contact there which catches one of the Sanfilippos. There's the second as we just unfortunately just flick away a little bit, and there you can see just how much carnage is caused. There's a secondary incident actually as well in the background of shot which catches a lot of drivers out, and that's why you've got the likes of Omar Bahar, Fabrizio Maisani, Dylan Freckleton all out of this race. Lap 3, fastest lap for Ben Fuller, 1:16.3. We are on board with Tamas Shane at the moment, trying to make some good progress here to move into the top 10 against the driver who started dead last on the grid, Victor Balea, who is up 12 places here in just the opening couple of laps here, Fonzie.
Yeah, exactly right. John Pat Kelly was second to last off the grid, and he's sitting up in P12. So yeah, they managed to avoid the carnage. Got a nice little battle going on here for 8th and 9th. Oberslack just hanging on the back of Jacob Reed there. I tell you what, seeing that start in the carnage there and this new damage model that iRacing has released was pretty cool sight. Although we don't want to see accidents off the start, to see the advances that iRacing have done, yeah, certainly pretty cool.
Certainly is, and there is of course a big statement that this is a B-class licensed series, so a lot of drivers have an opportunity to go out there and race for it, but this is definitely not for the faint of hearted here in this one. Everyone has formed themselves up into small packs of 2, it seems, out there in this race as everyone tries to work out where they need to be. Philip Schiff and Andreas Henkel is worth keeping an eye out on in this race. Henkel there in the 7th position, running the number 20. Now, all of these drivers there as he runs the Michael Schumacher helmet, all of these drivers and the numbers that they run are indicative of their I rating right now. So someone like Henkel's got a number 20 right now in terms of his I rating, will gain massively if he can finish up in 7th place.
Yeah, exactly right, and that's what you love about official racing, especially when you get the opportunity like Andreas Henkel, who is number 20. He can, yeah, gain a lot out of this race, but just he needs to start a trouble and do that for the next 30 laps and hope that people in front of him come off or he manages to catch and pass. And yeah, that's certainly, what is he? He's 3,056 I rating, so still pretty good. So it shows the caliber of drivers that we have in this field tonight.
Especially when 3,000 is down there in the bottom levels of the reasons that you get yourself a number 20. It's not often that you see that, but through the next right of the final corner and onto that front stretch again, so much elevation change here at Watkins Glen. You really don't notice it until it really does creep up upon you. Down and back up the hill then at turn number 1. And they also have to be very careful for a different reason. That is their incident point limit here today. They, of course, this being an iRacing official event right now here, Fonty, they have 17 incident points to go and play with, as here comes the move then from Andreas Henkel, just lifting out of it potentially a little bit there at 330 kilometers an hour. Can't get past Schiff through the corner. What they do have to be careful about is that they only have 17 instant points before they're driving through for a stop-go penalty. And then after that, well, another 8 instants and that's it, they're done.
Yeah, exactly right. That's what you gotta love about iRacing is, you know, when I first jumped on it, you could get as many incident points as you like. Your license certainly got a hammering if you were one of those people who dropped it off or was making contact. But this day, you get a drive-through very, very quickly, and this track is certainly not that forgiving when it comes to dishing out incident points, and you can certainly get them pretty easily.
Well, it's all about attacking then as we take a look from the loop camera, so to speak, from Andreas Henkel, the rear wing from Philip Schiff. And well, Schiff's the one who is really going to have to be careful and try and maximise every corner possible around this place. Up the hill they come along there, the GT Omega sponsorship there on the back, and charging up, looking for a chance then to not be put under pressure. Here comes the move then, right in the top speed, then trying to match, and there you hit the air and it gets tough to get around, and down the inside of the carousel, you're not breaking too much of that section, but easy does it then. Up goes Andreas Henkel up into 6th position. The good news for him is that it's only about 2 seconds down the road he needs to focus on to get to Patrick Letuve, who is there in the number 12 car, currently in 5th position, up 8 places off of the start. And those drivers from about, I would say, 10th on backwards have all been given a massive heads up for the start of this season.
Yep, they certainly have, and the man sitting down in P14, Matteo Ugolotti, number 1 car, he has an I rating of 6,900. So yeah, certainly not the start to the season that he was after. And there's a 35-second gap between himself and the next car of John Pat Kelly. So yeah, he's gonna want to hope to have a better finish than where he is now. But we've still got a long race to go, and anything can happen, and it always does happen in sim racing.
It certainly does. There is your race leader on screen. This is Ben Fuller then, who is driving around and is 3.4 seconds clear at the front of the field right now, ahead of Tamas Simon in second position. There is a battle going on right now for 11th and 12th position on the road. It's Adam Cohn trying to recover through the field after a spin at the end of lap 1 in the Leighton House machine. We saw that in the iRacing Grand Prix Series actually last season with Nim Cross Jr. But here's a dive down the inside then. It's going to be the prime place to get everything done today, Fonty. It's there and it's all sorted at the carousel.
Yeah, nice clean move there, set that up well, and already starting to pull a gap. So I really want to jump on and have a drive of these cars and see what they're actually like, because they look like a bit of a beast. I've never managed to see one in real life, but yeah, watching them now on a virtual race series has certainly made me want to jump in and have a go.
But it's all about attacking and how attacking you can be as well. Fuller in control as Schiff has not fallen away actually from Andreas Henkel. Just gets really caught up behind there at turn 1 and gets completely out of throttle going through the 90. It's one of those corners that you do need a tenth of a second or so going through it so you can actually stamp the throttle down on the exit. That was just a pure case of what the dirty air can do around a circuit like this, because now he uses all of that straight, that back straight, to close up to the back of Andreas Henkel, but he's now got no room to go out there and make the pass.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's yeah, these guys are going right at it. Philip is right on the back there, sitting right under that rear wing. Is he going to set him up to try and get past again?
There's a mistake there from Andreas Henkel. The back started to slide, and well, he's done well to keep it pointed in a straight line there. He was really fighting against it then as he tried to move through. And sometimes you also have to remember, dirty air effect works both ways. You can lose that air off the back of the car if you're not too careful. Got someone running right behind you, so it does very, very well to keep the vehicle pointed in a straight line. These Dallara iR-01s do not exist in the real world. They are the only virtual car to be implemented into iRacing as a way to say that iRacing is looking at the future and iRacing is esports right now. Schiff, though, still trying everything to get close enough. This is the closest battle out on circuit at this stage by a comfortable margin, but here will come the move then. Schiff tucked up underneath is going to look to the inside. No point in arguing about it. We're lap 9 of 34. They're going to trade places all race long.
Yeah, nice move there. These guys just need to work together to try and catch up to Patrick in front of them. 1.5 seconds separating these two. Ben Fuller, however, he has got a nice comfortable lead at the moment, 3.5 seconds. But I must say, Tamas Simon is punching out lap times to equal what Ben Fuller is doing. So if Fuller makes a mistake, he'll be right on his tail again.
And this is the key. Tamas Simon was very close in qualifying. It was just 22 thousandths. It was a fact of getting a poor start, getting stuck behind T. It didn't work. Ben Fuller, 1:15.899, fastest lap, and put 6/10 on Tamas Simon, who could not match that. Henkel again making his progress through, because he's now got to look behind him all of a sudden, because that's Jacob Reed, who has quietly been putting in the laps behind these drivers and getting everything all nicely sorted. We're now getting a 4-car train, and Jacob Reed is going to be hoping he's got a great run up the S's. You can't make it happen through 3. It's a blind crest through that left bend. You've got the chance. He's already up at over 330 kilometers an hour, but here's the issue. He's hit the rev limiter right now going down the straight. Has to lift out of it. Can't get the move done.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was on board with Philip the lap before when he made that move on Henkel, and as soon as he pulled out there, it was like hitting a brick wall. He really just stopped in his tracks and managed to make that pass under braking. But yeah, these cars are certainly a lot different to what we would see in a real life car, and I didn't know that they actually didn't exist in real life. So thanks for filling me in on that there, Sperry.
Yep, no worries at all, Fonty. As we can see, Henkel now is starting to really play defensively in the way that he's driving at the moment. Through the final couple corners, he's got to be careful that he doesn't drop outside of a 1-second window. That's when you would naturally expect to get the draft of the driver in front. Not necessarily a DRS sort of thing, but what you definitely say is a reality of the draft certainly helps, and what will definitely help there for Andreas Henkel is that Philip Schiff had a big moment there going through the 90, had to really gather up back on the exit of the apex. You don't get an off-track instant point until you reach the grass, and that was what Schiff would have been worried about. So this will bring in Henkel into the mix then, want to be attacking. They've got lap traffic in the form of James Chesters there on just in front of them, so they've also got to be careful about that happening. Reed still not close enough to get through on Henkel just yet then in this battle going on for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th place on the road. But once more, this is a waiting game here. Henkel looks like he's just about holding on to things, and it's going to be a case of least mistakes wins the places.
Yep, that's exactly right. Yep, Ben Fuller as well as stretched out to 4 seconds now. This battle though for 7th, 8th.
Oh no, there goes Schiff. There goes Schiff. Straight into the wall, and Chester's almost follows in sympathy there, able to get it going again and thread the needle and spin it. Why don't you? That's Jacob Oberslack, who is desperately unlucky and has actually lost the tyre going through as well. So the rear left tyre goes off because I think he got some netcode hit there with the traffic at Chester's.
Yep, not what he wanted at all, and yeah, you can really see how hard these cars are to get off the line, even when the tyres are hot. You've got to be so smooth with that throttle application, otherwise you're going to be around in a heartbeat.
Yeah, just look at that there, because you can see the rear tyre does come off, and you would say that is definitely a netcode hit then, because there was no contact on the way going through until it was far too late. There is another battle out on track right now. It's Tamas Shane here is under pressure from Adam Cohn, who again wants to try and move up into 9th position. Will look to the inside. This could be quite comfortable here, as it's going to be a case of battles on the brakes, and Shane, who is definitely a gentleman-style driver, lets the position go. Will try and win it back later on in the race.
Yeah, so just looking, yeah, Oberslack there completely out for the race, which is disappointing for him. Matteo Ugolotti though, he's chasing down John Pat Kelly. The last time we talked about him, it was 35-second gap. He's pulled that down to 21 seconds. So expect him, I think, yeah, I think he can still manage to make his way up to even potentially a top 10 finish.
Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye out actually on Matteo Ugolotti, because he has had a spin in this race. It was all the way back on lap 5 coming out of the toe of the boot, and he's lucky he's not lost the front wing either. So Ugolotti with a lot of work to do as we focus once more on that driver there of Tamas Shane in 10th position here in the number 16 car from Club Pennsylvania, trying to make that progress. What's key is how this race is being won at this moment in time. You've still got that battle between Henkel and Reed brewing at this moment in time, which you can see on screen. But you also have to point out here that Ben Fuller is not getting everything his own way. He's being forced to run fastest laps today in order to stave off Tamas Simon. And Andy T, of course, is very quietly just taking advantage of both of those drivers pulling away right now, and the fact that he's in 3rd place because he has nobody to worry about on an island.
Yeah, the first 4 cars are nicely spread apart. You can see who's done the most amount of testing and is pretty familiar with these cars already, and that's Ben Fuller. Fastest lap after fastest lap, so I'm not sure. Are they going to need to do a pit stop or anything during this race, Sperry?
I am not too sure myself, but we will soon find out. So Andreas Henkel here once more is going to find himself in the mire, because Jacob Reed is really charging. He looks so good through the S's. I wonder if he set the car up for medium downforce more rather than low downforce here today, because he's going to get alongside. Look at the way he aggressively moves to the right-hand side of circuit, left-hand side on your screen, and makes the move and passes up now into 6th position with one flick forward then. So Andreas Henkel in 7th place now, and it's going to be a next chase we go through. In comes Schiff then. So there's your question answered then, with Philip Schiff down in on the pit. That will be a case of trying to get that one all sorted out early, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of damage that Schiff to the rear wing would want to try and get sorted out.
Yep, there we go. So it is a pit stop race. It was interesting, actually. I was just riding on board there with Jacob Reed as he was making that pass on Henkel. As he pulled out to make that pass, 334 kilometers an hour, as soon as he pulled out, it was 12 kilometers an hour he dropped just in wind speed. So yeah, quite interesting for a long track like this one.
It certainly is. It shows you just how much of a hole that these vehicles sort of punch through with that dart-like exterior that they have. There is Tamas Simon in second position. His fastest lap he has just done, a 1:15.673. He's not giving up on this race by any stretch of the imagination right now against Ben Fuller, but it's just a case between these two of them trading fastest laps or trading quick laps against each other, and they are really trying to make sure they reach a really strong limit in terms of the way that they are running out there on track. There, once again, is Andreas Henkel in 7th position, up 7 places then from starting position. But Jacob Reed is by far and away one of the biggest gainers, and that's a spinner in front of them. There, that is Letuve making a mistake and dropping 2 places.
Yep, there we go. Small little error. I need to go back and have a look if we can get that on a replay. Jay, here we come for a replay. See exactly what's happened here. Oh, he's just touched the grass on the left-hand side there as he's applied the brake, and that'll do it for you. He did hold on to it pretty well, though, to be honest. I thought that it would be a lot worse than that, and he'd end up in the wall. So he's got away with that one, and he can certainly catch those cars up in front of him and make that overtake again.
Well, he's got to thank the massive contact patches that are there on the rear tyre, giving him enough grip to slow down and keep it almost thereabouts on the island with that Virtual Racing School replay. Massive thanks, of course, goes to the Virtual Racing School for helping us out with the replay so far. Into the pits comes Victor Balea then, and then the number 18 from Club Iberia is going to try and settle down in, get that stop nicely situated here at what is lap 15 out of 34. So we are coming up towards the halfway stage in a race which has been pretty dominated by Ben Fuller and ravaged and opened up, I would say, the right way by lap 1, as he does just set the fastest lap then of the race so far, a 1:15.616. No reason to be threatened or anything like that. He wants to pull away 4.5 seconds that he has. Jacob Reed now up inside the top 5 with that mistake from Letuve, and will be trying to search down Cedric Beale, who's only 3 seconds down the road, mind you.
Yeah, exactly right. I was just thinking, what's your thoughts on this? Matteo Ugolotti, he was caught up at the start there in that incident. He's already made a pit stop. Could he make it all the way through to the end of the race?
Well, I wouldn't say it was a pit stop, Fonty. It was a mistake on lap 5 that he had, but he was down in the pit. He actually missed the start in terms of this race, so he was down a minute before he even got himself going, but he's done a 1:16.3 as his last lap, and I would say his focus right now is, well, how quickly can I get to John Pat Kelly, who's only about 13 seconds down the road, and then running the gauntlet the same way that Adam Cohn did.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So, yeah, he is hunting it right down. Yeah, I think there could definitely be a potential of a top 8 for him. There we go. Ben Fuller in the lane. See how long he stops for.
Well, he splits it up 50-50 on the strategy. He will go to the penultimate box. The final box he goes into, as I misread my graphics, but ultimately Fuller then will be getting himself up and down on the jacks, and he should be available to go pretty soon. He goes right now. They can see the very, very wounded Syandra car just behind. Look at that. What a mess that is. 3 wheels off my wagon right now, and it definitely does not look like that's going to be a cheap recovery job. In behind as well, Patrick Letuve, no surprises in the pits, Fonty, after that spin.
Yep, exactly right. Would have sustained some sort of damage. Pit stop time there, 8.9 for Ben Fuller. So, yep, quickest out of anyone who's been through the lane so far. John Pat Kelly is still yet to pit.
Well, look actually, John Pat Kelly, because he's come out just ahead of Patrick Letuve, who has come out of the pit. So that's definitely something. We're focusing right now on where Ben Fuller is in comparison. He is with Andreas Henkel right now, and it's going to be about who decides when is the right call to make those moves. Simon has stayed out then for another lap, so he's trying to overcut this strategy and make sure it works out, because he knows that Ben Fuller is going to be stuck here behind the likes of Henkel and Reed. Well, not Reed anymore, because Jacob Reed has taken the decision to dive down into the pits.
Yeah, there we go. So how long is our leader going to stay out for? He's surely got to come in the next lap or two, or is he just feeling that he's got the pace? He did set the fastest lap last lap by, so is he going to be able to just continue that on? And then, oh, there we go. He's around, giving him the commentator's curse, and I think that might have just given him any chances away, and Andy T may be on the hunt now.
Well, this is the key with Tamas Simon. It's just a case of he was losing it all the way through the corner, couldn't fight it back. You're uphill as you try and go through, so he tried to get through, he just missed it, going to catch it now. You can see right now he's losing the back end, and then it finally steps out when he tries to put the power down. It was almost the case of he was leaning on the slip angle of the tyre there, so to speak, Fonty, and he just couldn't gather it back up again.
Yeah, well, I'm just wondering how much fuel he had on board. Obviously, these guys do need to make a stop, so they will be grabbing fuel, I believe, and the car will be very light in the rear end. Tyres are, 18 laps old, 20 laps old, so, yeah, shows how much a car's characteristics change once the fuel drops out of it.
Andreas Henkel dives down into the pits then in the number 20 Haas recreation as he tries to make sure that he finds his box nice and gently, just wants to finish this race, that's the key. Gap between Simon and T is down to 6.7 seconds after that spin, and Simon is driving angrily right now because he has already gained 0.7 of a second on Andy T in that lap alone.
Yep, he hasn't lost his composure at all. Although I'm just riding on board with our race leader, and yeah, very, very unstable in the rear. So, are they getting tyres in their pit stop? Do you know, Sperry?
They are getting
There we
tyres,
go. Director has given it, and he's in the lane.
Yes, we're seeing here, Simon is in the lane. In front of him as well in the pits, John Pat Kelly, Tamas Shane, and Matteo Ugolotti, all looking to try and make that stop. So they'll be getting tyres, they'll be getting fuel, they'll be getting themselves back out and going again and racing with everything that they've got. Simon is going to be the key, though. And big one, that's
Ben Fuller.
Just about to come into the pits, and he's caught out Ben Fuller. The race leader's out as well.
Wow, there we go. How everything can change in a heartbeat. That was a big accident. I just flicked it there to see where he was and compared to Simon, and got a very broken car sitting in pit lane.
It's so easy to do here because you've got to watch this then. Cedric Beale was on the radio, I'm coming in this lap, and he just gets tagged by Schiff, who didn't catch it up, and Ben Fuller nowhere to go. Two tyres get absolutely demolished as he tries to go through the final corner, and Ben Fuller's race is over as well here at Watkins Glen. This is incredible. So Tamas Simon leads this one. It's Andy T in second. And from 18th on the grid, Jacob Reed is now effectively holding on to a podium.
Yep, that's incredible how things can just change in a heartbeat. Feel gutted for Ben Fuller. He was driving a fantastic race. And yeah, one of those things that does happen in racing. Unfortunate things. Henkel as well, right off the back of the grid. He's sitting up in P4. So stay out of trouble, and you can generally find yourself right up there.
I will now point out the fact that we are down to just 12 runners in this race. Sorry, 13 runners in this race. James Chesters is 2 laps down. Victor Balea is 1 lap down right now. And everybody else is somewhat on the leading lap. And this is why Tamas Simon pitted when he did right there, Fonty, because he knows that if he comes back out and someone puts themselves in the right position, okay, then you know you're not dealing with the traffic as much. You don't have that added variable to deal with in the race. Because Simon decided he wanted to go late, not deal with any traffic around a very tough battle that you've got here, that's it. That's day done. You know that when you've got such a fragile vehicle as this, one small hit, bang, that's it. It's all over.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think it was, yeah, these cars are so fast that, yeah, in a situation like that where the pit lane entry is so fast here, and it's in quite an important corner that you can't get offline. Yeah, an accident like that is definitely going to happen at some point, and yeah, Ben Fuller, he'll be absolutely gutted about that, and I'm sure it will change his tactics for rounds moving forward.
Exactly. So we'll keep that then in the back pocket at the moment, as a lot of drivers then find themselves pretty much on pit lane or worse at this stage as they try and work out their own ways forward. Matteo Ugolotti, though, has eyes set on gaining a place, and maybe missing the start was his big omen in disguise with the number 1 on his vehicle, because he's right on the back now of John Pat Kelly, looking for 8th place, and John Pat Kelly lets off the power there, going through at 3:03 there to allow Ugolotti through, because he knows better than anybody else. Matteo Ugolotti on his day is a demon.
Yes, you're exactly right. Next one lined up for him is Tamashane, 1.7 seconds up the road. So, yeah, I think it's going to be hard for him to catch the Adam Cohn car if he manages to get past Tamashane. But, yeah, great recovery drive there from Matteo Ugolotti.
Looking at representative lap times from Adam Cohn, he's been doing 1:17s in his stint before his stop. Just looking at Matteo Ugolotti's averages in terms of lap times, he's been running consistently in the 16s for this one. There are 12 laps to go now there are 12 laps to go, because Tamas Simon has crossed the line, and a bit of traffic for Ugolotti to, this is the pass on Shane he gets through. So just like that, Tamas Shane, see you later, mate. That's an easy one from Ugolotti, who's really flying.
Yeah, he is really flying. He's found a lot of pace there. So Tamashane 18.8 on that last lap. Yeah, something must have happened to him there. But if he can just hang on the back there, which I'm sure he will do.
Side by side.
There we go. He's not letting him go easy. Tamashane, very good driver as well. Yeah, he's not going to let go of Ugolotti.
Not easily anyway, and that's the key. It's going to be very tough to stay with Matteo Ugolotti. The way he drives, just the sheer consistency he's got. He just put a 15.9 down on the board with the draft, so definitely looking like he is able to move on with this race and absolutely fly forward. The big key as well is that to win these sorts of races, you have to finish, and to win championships, doesn't matter how bad of a start you have, you missed the start or anything else, you need results. You need to make sure that you get yourself into a nice position, and even in a race like this where, over half the field right now is over a lap down at this stage, you've got to be absolutely on it like a car bonnet to make sure that you can score points, and score points effectively here in the Dallara Formula IR series.
You are exactly right, Sperry. To finish first you have to finish, and that's always been my kind of motto. I've never kind of been right there at the front, but always just managed to kind of keep it on the black stuff and stay out of trouble, and you generally find you're doing all right. We're seeing it here today. Obviously, new series to the iRacing platform, and everyone's kind of finding their feet with how the car works, and I expect to see that we'll have some great racing as seasons go on.
I certainly would expect so as well at this stage. So Tamas Simon leads this race by 10 seconds over Andy T in second position. Jacob Reed started 18th on the grid, finds himself in third by 3.7 seconds over Andreas Henkel. Then it's Patrick Latouve in fifth place. Adam Cohn is up into sixth. It's Ugolotti in seventh, Shane 8th, and in ninth position, John Pat Kelly. Victor Balea and James Chesters are the only other drivers in this field who are circulating right now. They are 1 and 2 laps down respectively, which means that this track is already here, Fonzie, with about 9 laps to go, has got itself a 50% retirement rate.
Yeah, exactly right. Shows how difficult these cars are to drive, and they're quite fragile by the looks of them. They're an open wheeler, so yeah, not really built for bashing into other cars as we might see in touring car racing. But yeah, as I said before, still a new car to the series, and people are still finding their feet. So it takes a little bit of time to adjust yourself to a new car and get the feel for it. and I'm sure we're going to see closer racing at different tracks in the future.
And of course, it's those different tracks which do build up the season and do make this season really something to be a spectacle to hold on right now at this moment. We continue with the focus here as we keep our eyes very, very much peeled then on this race. This is Latouve that we are looking at the moment, I do believe, who is, we're just a little bit behind Latouve at this moment. So we've got James Chesters right now, who's in 11th position, and now we move over to Andreas Henkel there at the moment. There is the schedule right now, and you can see it is a very, very big mix of tracks, which very much that promises to be another speed demon style of circuit, because you miss that chicane in the middle, you just go straight flat out from that hairpin all the way to the arena section.
Yeah, there's some really cool tracks on this season, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the Hockenheim Ring, new track to the iRacing service as well. I've never driven around that track, so yeah, looking forward to cutting some laps there myself. Always love to see good racing at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. That will definitely create a spectacle. Road America, another really, really long circuit. Yeah, all great circuits that we're going to, and I reckon that we're going to see a fantastic battle right to the end.
I certainly expect that we will see something very, very much of that ilk at this moment in time. Closest battle on circuit is down to 8th and 9th positions in this race as John Pat Kelly tries to reel in Tamas Jane then in this battle going on here onto lap 27 of 34. These drivers go along, and they know that they are soon to be put a lap down here in this race by Tamas Simon, who is just behind there, your race leader in this one from Club Central Eastern Europe. So that's what's the prospect that they have to deal with right now. John Pat Kelly, though, would definitely want to use the likes of Tamas Simon as a pick to get through on someone like Tamas Shane.
Yeah, you're exactly right. John Pat Kelly, very experienced driver, and yeah, not always right at the front. Certainly we haven't seen him at the front in the iGPS series that we cover on a Saturday night, but yeah, he's always pretty consistent, stays out of trouble, so I'm sure that's what his game plan will be throughout this season, I reckon.
And just an easy lift off from the TQ Engineering driver allows then Tamas Simon to make it Tamas versus Tamas out there on circuit. Shane versus Simon in terms of putting a lap down on the board. Just keep an eye out on that the longer that this race does go on. Gap between Ugolotti and Combe has gone down to 10 seconds. The big issue is, though, is that despite Ugolotti running about a second a lap quicker, he's running out of laps. He needs to be a second and a half, 2 seconds a lap quicker.
Yeah, exactly right. His lap pace has been incredible, and if he hadn't had the missed the start, potentially would have been a different situation, and he may have found himself right up the front, but anything could have happened, and I think that he's recovered himself really well. He's got to punch out good lap times, and he's got to hope that Adam makes a mistake, but he's also driven a great race, so it's going to be close either way.
Certainly is. Just the one spin for Matteo Ugolotti that we didn't catch on the cameras on lap 5 of this race, so he still has a lot to figure out. Tamas Shane has now been lapped by Tamas Simon, so that puts only the top 7 then on the leading lap, and that should be, knock on wood, how it stays in terms of this race, because of the fact that we are down to so many drivers and they are equally spread out. So if we are going to see a mistake then late on in this race, in the final 6 laps that we have available to us right now here, Fonty, it's going to be down to driver error.
Yeah, you're exactly right. This field is really spread. Closest is between John Pat Kelly and Tamashane, 1.5 seconds, and then the nearest gap is 3rd and 4th, and that's 5 seconds. So yeah, really spread out. You know, it is quite a long race, and driver errors definitely could throw into the mix, so I do expect to see potential position changes in the remaining 5 laps.
And to those position changes which have really shaken up the start of this championship. A lot of drivers that you would say would be contenders for these sorts of races. Ben Fuller, Cy Andra, Marco and Danilo Sanfilippo, all of them in trouble. Cedric Beale also out of the race. Omar Bahar as well. Do not sleep on Omar Bahar. He is someone who could definitely title challenge and go to title town with opportunities. Very easily could find some troubles. We look with John Pat Kelly at this moment in time, just trying to make his way through. You've got this external camera and they can see the camera just above at the moment. Got not much of a roll hoop, so to speak, but enough that you can mount a camera there and charge forward with the drive that they have right now. And you can see John Pat Kelly is just slowly chipping away at Tamas Shane. This could be a chance to get within a window and attack late on in this race onto lap 31.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We just saw the overlay there that our director Joe showed us. Started 21st, sitting in 9th. So, yeah, great start there for him. And puts himself in a good position for the remaining parts of the season. And yeah, I'm sure his game plan will be exactly what he's done today, is stay out of trouble and hope that other people make mistakes.
And mistakes we have seen time and time again. Now down the hill through to the chute, and it's visible right now how much John Pat Kelly is starting to just claw that time back. It's definitely not something glacial in terms of the way that he tries to chase down, but you do reach a certain level in open wheel vehicles like this, Fonzie, where you do hit a limit where you can't get as close as you maybe would like to.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and circuits, depending on the characteristics of the circuits, will also play a big part in that. And if you've got walls close to you, if you're running on a street circuit, it can be harder to pass. This place is good because you can kind of set your passes up from a long way back and kind of predict what the car in front is going to do. But yeah, certainly at other tracks we're going to see, I reckon, probably so a bit of carnage throughout the season.
Fastest lap for Tamas Simon, who leads this race outright. It's a 1:15.592, and there is no sense of slowing down from the number 4 at this stage. If in doubt, flat out is the mantra that Colin McRae, the late Colin McRae, of course, piloted around when it came to rallying. Very much the same for Tamas Simon right now. He's definitely in a little bit of doubt in terms of how many drivers are going to finish this race, so he may as well, at this point in time, go flat out.
Yeah, exactly right. Got nothing else to lose. 15 seconds to the nearest car, and they don't get any extra points or anything for fastest lap of the race, I don't believe.
No, they certainly don't.
But I guess it's bragging rights, and makes yourself feel good, and you can kind of understand what the car is going to do. Maybe it rounds in the future. So the track temperature today, 37 degrees, so reasonably warm. Not the hottest that we're going to see. I certainly think that we will see hotter tracks as we get on with the season.
What's crucial as well is that these drivers are struggling in these sorts of conditions where there are, I would say, ideal to understeer style conditions. Of course, when the track gets even colder, they're going to be even more in a case of nightmares, because that's when you get oversteer traditionally in the iRacing server, when you do have colder track conditions worth keeping in mind. Still that TQ engineering car of John Pat Kelly chasing down in terms of Tamas Shane and wanting to make sure that there is one more position in the back pocket to move up into 8th position. And of course, you always want to beat the driver who's got the number just ahead of you, and they are nose to tail stacked at this stage. But John Pat Kelly not able to break through 0.6 of a second.
Yeah, nice little battle here, and he's in a good position. And then he got a few more opportunities where he's going to be able to use the draft to get past. And yeah, the classic one is off turn 1 up the hill. Either way, John Pat Kelly driven a fantastic race, and I think he's got to be happy. If he finishes in 9th, he's got to be happy with that result.
Well, he got to think about one more lap, because we are on to the final lap then of this race. John Pat Kelly still hoping there's a chance to move through against Tamas Shane. Ugolotti's got his gap down to about 5 seconds, but he's still 5 seconds too far away to make something happen. Up the rise goes Shane and John Pat Kelly, and on this long back straight, again, John Pat Kelly at 338.5 kilometers an hour cannot get close enough to Tamas Shane, who is trimmed to the masses, trying to make sure that he doesn't have to worry about anything. But what about your race leader here, Tamas Simon, a different Tamas, who started in second position, looked for all intents and purposes in a crazy race filled with retirement and incident that he was going to keep a cool head and try and get it in. His main rival, Ben Fuller, today would be cruelly denied a race victory. You could say it was in the back pocket, if not for one incident, but it's not about who would win, it's about who does. Tamas Simon wins at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, fantastic drive there. Absolutely stellar effort. Fastest lap as well on the last lap. So, yeah, well done to him. As you said, unfortunate result there for Ben Fuller, but we will see him come back. Great job from Andy T, finishing in second, and Jacob Reed in third. So, and Andreas Henkel.
Well,
yeah, exactly. There we go.
Remember, Jacob Reed started right at the back in 18th position and is going to pick up a podium for troubles. Andreas Henkel very happy with his result. Fourth place will do wonders for him in a split like this. This is, of course, the night split, the strong split that you find in this series. And there is Patrick Latouve as well. Position number 5 has every reason to be happy with that sort of finish. On top of that, Adam Cohn will come to the line then, and he will just beat out Matteo Ugolotti then. You can see Ugolotti just in the background. And he'll go, drat, I could have had him, but I was just a little bit too far away. Gave myself too much to do today to get 6th place. So let's get ourselves then confirmation of results then up on your screen for you here in this iRacing, or this Dallara Formula IR event that we have going on. It is Tamas Simon who has every reason to smile. 43 minutes and 47 seconds worth of hard graft, and takes a massive win by 19 seconds over Andy T in second position, with Jacob Reed finishing it off from 18th on the grid all the way up onto the podium today in third place. It was Andreas Henkel who finished in 4th position, with Patrick Latouve rounding out the top 5. Adam Cohn finishing in 6th position, with Matteo Ugolotti in 7th. Tamas Shane was the first driver then to finish 1 lap down in 8th place, with John Pat Kelly just behind in the 9th position overall in this one. And a very great drive as well from Victor Balea, 1 lap down, manages to get a top 10 finish after starting dead last, 22nd on the grid. James Chesters was the last finisher, 2 laps down from Club France he is, and it did not quite pan out the way that he maybe would have liked, but still gets a very, very solid finish out of it. But then you hit the retirement. Cedric Beale, Ben Fuller, and Philip Schiff all out in the same incident then, which was all about Schiff running into the back of Cedric Beale coming into the pits. You then had Jacob Oberslack lose his wheels after Philip Schiff spun, and then Chesters found himself in a bit of trouble, so Oberslack, nothing he could do. And then every other driver out then on the opening lap drama caused by Cy Andra's hit. That includes Cy Andra himself, Omar Bahar, Marco and Danilo Sanfilippo, the Palermo brothers, in all sorts of trouble today. Jan Brezina, who looks like he's someone who could have definitely challenged, Fabrizio Mesani, and on top of that, Dylan Freckleton. Another incident which happened down at the back of the pack. But a wonderful race in terms of action and intrigue and incident. But of course, there's a long championship coming up. Hockenheim we'll be heading to, 40 laps worth of action. That'll be next week, Fonty. And of course, with the outer layout being what's piloted, it's going to be another high-speed spectacle.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I'm really excited for that round. And yeah, new circuit, which is a very popular and well-known around the world. And I've certainly watched plenty of Formula 1 action back in the day around there. So yeah, look forward to watching these Dallara cars go around that track. And with this caliber of drivers that we had tonight, hopefully we don't have the pile-ups that we had at the start. And these drivers practice there getting off the line, because they certainly look like a bit of a handful. But I had a lot of fun tonight, and really look forward to next week's event.
And I certainly do as well. The only place you can catch the Dallara Formula IR series in glorious broadcast mode is here with us at SimSpeed TV. If you have not already here on YouTube or on Facebook, you can like, you can share. If you're on YouTube, you can subscribe for more amazing content brought to you by SimSpeed TV. But we have reached end of proceedings here today. So a massive thank you goes to the Virtual Racing School, who have been sponsoring us on the replays for us here today. From Jay Kennedy on the cameras at early o'clock in the morning. From one Mr. Scott Fountain alongside me, my name's been Jake Sperry. Tamas Simon takes the first punch in the IR season. He knows what he wants. He wants that championship. He pushed Ben Fuller to the very limit, and it was only misfortune that changed the tides of this race here today. But when they go to the brand new circuit, when they go to the big challenges that'll be coming up on the horizon, that's where we're going to see whether it's a case of, was this a fluke, or is that pace more temporary and permanent? We'll see you 1 week from now as we jump, of course, over to amazing action at the Hockenheim Ring.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction. He's over the outside. Both of them. Maloney.
Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up to
Oh my God!
Big crash. Oh my goodness, half the field's going to get rolled.
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, there we go.
Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my God!
God, what?